This is Jarrod Horak, and this is my latest Road to the 2024 Kentucky Derby Contenders video. I've been doing these videos each week, and in this week's edition, I'm going to look back at the Rebel Stakes and check in with some of my other top Derby contenders. Now, if you're interested in checking out my Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks reports, head on over to todaysracingdigest.com. When you get to their website, on their front page near the top left, you're going to see a Kentucky Derby tab. And if you click on that tab, it will take you over to the Digest Derby page. And there you will be able to read all of my Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks reports. Every Monday, I update my Kentucky Oaks report. Every Tuesday, I do the Kentucky Derby. So I'll be doing those this week and every week, all the way up to the Kentucky Derby. So keep checking out todaysracingdigest.com for those. And make sure to check out my personal website. I've upgraded that website, the runawayhorse.com. You can purchase my full card analysis at Santa Anita Park. I have news and bonus free picks from Santa Anita and other tracks as well. So go on over to the runawayhorse.com to check that out. And if you do go over to that website, you're going to see an RPM handicapping tab at the top. And if you click on that, it will take you over to my partner's website, RPM Handicapping Giant. You can purchase handicapping books, software, and more. They've been in business for a long time. I've purchased multiple books from them over the years. Good site there. So if you're interested in getting that kind of material, go over to the RPM Handicapping Giant website, and you can access that website from the homepage at therunawayhorse.com. And now we'll get in to the recap of the Rebel Stakes. And my second-ranked Kentucky Derby contender, Timberlake, was able to win that race. He was the heavy favorite. They bet him down to less than even money. He looked like a standout on paper, and he ran a quality race. Now, the pace figured to be honest, and it was. We did have a nice, honest pace going on with Carbone from the inside post setting that pace. Northern Flame, Woodcourt from post 12 was up on the pace as well. Then Timberlake sitting in a nice spot in mid-pack. And then the horse that got the dream trip in this race was Common Defense under Brian Hernandez Jr., a Kenny McPeak trainee. He never left the rail. He was 27-1, and he just was sitting on the rail within striking range, stalking the pace. The rail opened up in the stretch, so he just never left it. He went right up the inside, whereas Timberlake, he was in between horses, and then he was stalking wide, and then he had to move out even wider in the stretch. And in the stretch, he did drift out as well, and it looked like Common Defense might give him a run, but Timberlake was able to straighten up under Christian Torres, and he was able to win by 2 lengths. And Common Defense was clearly second best. Then you had Northern Flame running third, Woodcourt fourth, and then Dymatic finished fifth. The disappointment in this race was probably Just Steel, but he was out in post 11. And if you're going to play a horse maybe for exotics next time out, I would think about playing Just Steel, this D. Wayne Lucas trainee. He was hung out at least 5 wide all the way around the track, never really had a chance to run. He was one that had done well in the stakes ranks prior to this race, and he finished 7th of 12 in the Rebel. But I think that maybe in the Arkansas Derby, maybe he can bounce back and hit the board. For Common Defense, I would play against him next time just because he set such a great trip, saved ground, scraped the paint all the way around the track in a second-best performance. But Timberlake was even better than his 2-length victory. He was just vastly superior to this field. And now the key to him is, will he be able to move forward next time? This was a solid start to his 3-year-old season, his first win around 2 turns. He's picked up his second graded stakes win. He won the Grade 1 Champagne as a 2-year-old. Then he was 4th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And then his first start in almost 4 months, he was able to win this race clearly for trainer Brad Cox. So Timberlake moves on to the Kentucky Derby final prep, and he'll probably make his final prep in either the Bluegrass Stakes or the Arkansas Derby. They'll decide on that at another date. Now, his rider prior to this was Florin Giroux, but he was in Saudi Arabia to ride Saudi Crown for trainer Brad Cox in the Saudi Cup. That one ended up finishing 3rd. So Christian Torres subbed for Florin Giroux, and he rode Timberlake here. We'll have to see if Giroux gets back aboard next time, as I said, the Bluegrass or the Arkansas Derby. They'll make that decision in a few weeks on where they're going to go next with Timberlake. But he does look like a solid Derby contender at this point. He is your number 1 Kentucky Derby points leader at this point. He has more than enough points to get into the race. But I would like to see him move forward next time out. He was wandering a bit in the stretch here, but he's solid. He's got a lot of class. He's got that good tactical speed. And maybe if he can move forward and run a little bit faster next time, I would consider him a serious Kentucky Derby contender. He's second on my list right now. My top-ranked Derby contender for the last several weeks has been Sierra Leone for trainer Chad Brown. I liked his effort last time out on the Risen Star. He ran well prior to that in the Remsen Stakes at a mile and an eighth. So he's one that has a lot of stamina. They paid a lot of money for him. Got a good pedigree, a son of gun runner, and I would expect Sierra Leone to do well in upcoming races. And his next start's going to be the Bluegrass Stakes at Keeneland. Now, Locked is number 3 on my list, and he is entered in the Fountain of Youth Stakes at Gulfstream Park on Saturday, March 2nd, and he's going to be facing the 5th horse on my list, Dornoch. It's also in that race. Now, Dornoch ended up winning in his last start. He won the Remsen Stakes. He was up on the pace. Sierra Leone passed him. He came back and he won that. So he'll make his first start this year. And then Locked was supposed to run in the Sam F. Davis Stakes a few weeks ago, but he had a fever, knocked him out of that race, and then they decided to go in this Fountain of Youth Stakes instead. Fierceness is number 4 on my list, and he finally had his first workout since disappointing in the Holy Bull Stakes. He had a 4-furlong bullet at Palm Beach Downs on February 23rd. He'll probably go in the Florida Derby next. They're going to probably stick to their original plan, which was to run in the Holy Bull, skip the Fountain of Youth, and then run in the Florida Derby. So I think the Florida Derby will probably be Fierceness's final Kentucky Derby points race. And the next one on my list is Track Phantom, and he's going to run in the Louisiana Derby next. That's on March 23rd, and his early speed always puts him in a good position. He won the Gun Runner Stakes, he won the Lecomte Stakes, and then he was second in the Risen Star Stakes last time out. And I would expect that in that Louisiana Derby, he's probably going to be all over the pace again. Conquest Warrior is number 7 on my list right now for trainer Shug McGahee. They considered the Fountain of Youth, but they always said that if they could get an allowance race towards the end of February or the beginning of March, they would opt for that, and that's exactly what happened. There's an allowance optional claiming race at Gulfstream Park, race 7, at a mile and an eighth on March 1st, and Conquest Warrior has entered that race. So if he runs well there, I would expect that he's going to show up in a Kentucky Derby points race in his next start after this allowance race. So we're going to see how he can handle a mile and an eighth, and if he does well there, obviously they're going to step up and they're going to try to get him to qualify for the Derby. Stronghold, he won the Sunland Derby in his last start. He's number 8 on my list. Not sure where he's going next. The Santa Anita Derby makes sense. Phil D'Amato's horses are stabled at Santa Anita, so I would expect that Stronghold could end up there. Liberal Arts is number 9 on my list right now. The Arkansas Derby on March 30th is his next start. In the Southwest Stakes, his first start after a layoff, he came on nicely to run on for 3rd, galloped out in front, and he looks like one that should give a good account of himself in that Arkansas Derby. And then Tuscan Sky is number 10. His next start is to be determined. He defeated the horse number 11 on my list, Nash, when they met in an allowance race on the Risen Star undercard, and they finished 1-2 with Nash setting the pace, and then Tuscan Sky running him down. That's a Todd Pletcher trainee, Tuscan Sky. Nash is for trainer Brad Cox, and we'll see where they end up going in their next starts. Now, the last 3 Kentucky Derby points races, my top choices in my videos have gotten the job done. Let's see if we can keep this roll going, because we have a lot of points races coming up this week. For Saturday, March 2nd, I mentioned the Fountain of Youth Stakes. I'll be shooting that video shortly and uploading that one. And then later this week, for the Derby points races, I'm going to be doing the San Felipe Stakes, the Gotham, and the Battaglia Memorial. And then on the road to the Kentucky Oaks, the Cincinnati Trophy at Turfway will be run on March 1st. Then we have the Busher and the Devona Dale on March 2nd, and then the Santa Isabel at Santa Anita on March 3rd. So all of those are Kentucky Oaks points races. I'll be covering all of those on my YouTube channel, along with the Derby points races. Now, some of the videos will be long format, and then I won't have time to do all of these videos in long format, so I will have some video shorts up there as well with my top picks for the races that I don't have time for in long format. I'll do in short format, and I've been doing that the last couple of weeks as well. So, when you go to my YouTube channel where you see shorts, if you click on that, it'll take you over to that page, and you can watch my short form videos, and then as many Kentucky Derby points races as I can for sure. I'm definitely doing in a long form. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this horse racing content. I'll be updating my Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks reports on Monday and Tuesday. That'll be February 26th and 27th. So go over to today's Racing Digest for that information. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.